breaking news tonight, even after What the Chuck, when I went live with you about an hour and a half ago, we have a major new update on your stimulus and stimulus package fights. As Joe Biden steps up and says, you know what? I'm not waiting around any longer. The second stimulus bill and the third stimulus bill and all the items at hand will not wait around much longer. And this is the push that we've wanted for a long time. Incredible updates tonight about your stimulus as Joe Biden says, the time is of essence. It's time to move forward. This is Evenings LA with big updates across the board and those shocking developments from Joe Biden just minutes ago. I'm so excited you're joining me on a big night with a big recording. Thank you for joining me earlier on What the Chuck. That was a very watched video. But in tonight's video, I continue with what Joe Biden, Senator Portman, and some Republicans have been saying and doing in the last few hours and days. And with that, let's get right to it. First of all, I want to thank the two people that joined as new members right after the video feed went live, but before I came on camera. So if you could drop their names again, I want to give them a shout out on camera. There are two individuals who joined as members. If you want to become a member, click the member link in the description and also at the pinned comment at the top of the chat. Joe Biden says he's not going to wait around longer. In a comment tonight, which surprised a lot because we had not seen that comment for a while, TJ and Larry. Thank you, Dwayne. Everyone welcome TJ and Larry to the family for becoming new members. Thank you, TJ and Larry, for becoming members as soon as the feed went live. I want to thank you for becoming members to this family. Joe Biden says he's not going to wait around longer. He said he's had enough waiting. I've been waiting my whole life for this. Let's get going. And so Joe Biden said this, ironically, after about a week and a half of Zoom chats. I guess Joe thinks he's just zoomed out of this. They're not zooming, so I'm going to start zooming. Joe had been doing Zoom chats, about 16 people room, 20 people Zoom room, and every time he chatted with Republicans, they said, yeah, sounds really good. Yeah, I sort of like it. And then he would check back with them, and they wouldn't give him any updates. And they're like, what are you doing? Oh, we'll talk about it in a little bit of time. I gotta go to the casino and have some $12 ice cream, but I'll be back in a little while. And Joe's like, what's going on? Thank you. I couldn't see what that said. It just flew. Thank you, G. Cole, for the enormous super chat and the flying pear. My goodness. Thank you, G. Cole, for the big pear. And I really appreciated that. And the pear's going this way. He's like flying to the side. The dancing bear. This time he's flying. Can I get a shout out? You can, Christina Rock. You can get a shout out as well. Thank you, G Call, HG Call, and Christina wants a shout out. So there you go. So Joe said, what's going on? And they weren't giving him an update. So he's just like, enough already. So Joe Biden tonight says, I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of waiting. I think he saw your tweets. That's all I can say. I think he can see your tweets because earlier this week, remember, no one was moving. No one, if we look back on this week, no one was moving. Except maybe Sir Lloyd. Can you move on over? No one was moving. There's Queen. There's the Queen of the likes is in the room. Hello, Sandy. And so no one was moving. And you, the Purple Power, got these congressional leaders moving because they didn't have a bill. They had no progress. And now, as you sit here tonight, the bill will be voted on in the House of Representatives next week and then voted in the Senate shortly thereafter, and could become a law by the end of next week. So you see incredible progress. The issue is, what's in that bill? What is in that bill? And Senator Portman, who's the Republican senator who said he's retiring because he doesn't like the bipartisanship, he doesn't like the partisanship of Congress anymore, had these comments to say tonight about the stimulus package. When asked about the current $1.9 trillion stimulus package from Joe Biden, Portman says, I don't know why it's so urgent. There's nothing really urgent here to do. We just passed a stimulus package, so why are we doing another one? And then he was asked, well, what do you mean by that? Well, J. Cole again, just became a Purple Hawk since watching you since April every day. Thank you for everything you do. I really appreciate that. That's very, very, very kind. Thank you for the run, and thank you for being a viewer since day one. I really appreciate that. I always love when someone says, I've been a viewer since day one, since November. And I'm like, I didn't start in November. But I've been a viewer since day one, since December. I'm like, what was December? I didn't start in December. Thank you, Chico. I appreciate that. But April was April was J1, and I remember G call, so I really appreciate that. And you may recognize G call, some OGs in the room. There are some original first 200 viewers in the room. You'll see them get in here in shortly. So Portman says, I don't, oh, we just did stimulus. We don't need to do any more stimulus. Now, this is sort of silly. You have heard this from Susan Collins and Mitt Romney, like they ever make any sense, but we just did stimulus. Why do we need to just do stimulus again? See, this is why you don't do things small with these people. In December, when we did the second stimulus package and we put C on the stimulus, we said it's an emergency stimulus. It's a down payment. It's a small thing. We're going to come back and do something bigger in January. Now they're taking that and saying, we already gave you stimulus. We don't got to do it again. We already gave it to you. Just, why we got to ask for it again? Lord, that's the first thing they're saying. Now, the second thing they're saying is, this one was a cute one. Portman said, well, we just did UI and PUA to end of March, so you're fine. You're covered for stimulus to the end of March. What's the urgency? If you think there's something, if you think there's an urgency, say yes on the screen right now. Do you think there's an urgency? Do you think there's an urgency, or do you think Mr. Portman's right that we're just we're fine? What's the rush? There's no rush. Urgent or not? Or yes, says Charles and Kim and Dina and Alma and Patricia and Michelle and Lexington and G Cole again. Wow, G Cole's killing the dancing bear. I really love it. Yes, says Colleen and Bobby and Gunnar and Missy. Yes, and says Beverly and Manny and James and King Reno and Juanita and Kalisha, Sandy and Miss Patrick. Let's get going. Pamela and Crystal, Mary. Yes, it is urgent. I and here's my take on the situation. One, it is urgent, but even if things were expiring in March with these people, March is only 8 weeks away. You know how long it takes for these people to get anything done? 8 weeks is like tomorrow to these people. You tell a congressional leader, can you get a bill ready for me? Yeah, I'll see you in like 7 months from now. So, March is like tomorrow for these people. It is urgent. That's the first thing. Second, then Senator Portman had another message to make. And Senator Portman's message to you was he has no economic data of what's going on in this pandemic. So he has no idea whether you need stimulus or not. There's no economic data. When I get some economic data, says Portman, I'll know whether you need stimulus or not. Does that sound familiar? Does anyone recognize if anyone said that to you before that I've covered on this channel? Is there any other elected official that said that line to you once before? Tell me if you drop in the comments if you recognize a certain person who used to use that expression before. I have no economic data. I just don't know what to do. So there's no stimulus for you right now because I don't know what's going on. Drop the name of the person. Oh my goodness, G Call again with the dancing bear. G Cole is killing with the dancing bear. Oh my goodness. A lot of people say yes, but do you recognize the name of the person? What's the name of the person who said it? Patricia's killing it. Does anyone else? Says there's Sandy. It's Mitch. It's Mitch. There's Teresa and Patricia. The other Patricias, well, it is Mitch. And there's Christine and Beverly and Missy. It's Mitch. Mitch was the poster child of I have no economic data. I don't know what's going on. There's no economic data. I don't have any economic data. Jody, thank you for the info and the patience. So Ron Portman is the new Mitch McConnell of 2021. Mitch became sensible Mitch at the end of last year when he had Senate seats up for re-election. But now Ron Portman's, I have no economic data. I don't know what's going on. You don't need stimulus. It's just, he said, when I see more economic data, then I'll know whether you need stimulus or not, but I don't know yet. Let me give Mr. Portman a wake-up call. Unemployment numbers are out every Thursday morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. Wake up. I know you're on the golf course somewhere, but wake up. Unemployment numbers out every Thursday morning. The new jobless claims. And the jobless claims numbers are no better than they were when Mitch McConnell was using that as his line. The unemployment numbers show that people have not been reemployed, meaning got back to work. And that the people that are suffering the most are the lowest income employees before the pandemic. People who made less than $49,000 before the pandemic hurt are having the hardest time getting jobs back, getting re-employed, getting their job back or a job back. I'm not the only one saying this. Jerome Powell said it 2 days ago. Of course, Mr. Portman didn't hear that. Of course, doesn't hear economic data. I don't know this. I don't hear anything. And so Jerome Powell said it is very hard for low-income people to get reemployed, and they are going from poor to poorer. More people are falling into the poverty level. When we say falling into the poverty level, it means someone who is not at poverty is then in poverty level. And if we talk about the K-shaped curve, which I first talked about in the summer of 2020, the K-shaped curve was actually talked about by Joe Biden 2 weeks ago and Jerome Powell yesterday. It means that people who are at the lower part of the K are starting to get more and more poor because they're not rebounding. Monica Prado, thank you for this very nice chat, for the nice super chat. And he's retiring, so what does he care? Says Ethel. Absolutely, Ethel. I love that. Mr. Portman's retiring, so what does he care? And he says that there's partisanship that he doesn't like in Congress, and that's why he's retiring. What? Pot me kettle. Big Daddy 84875. Oh my God. Hey, you dancing bear. Pot me kettle, Mr. Portman. I mean, he says he says it's becoming too partisan. The lemon with the lemon. G Call is doing Tad's bit. If you don't know Tad's one of the viewers of this channel that always jumps in and does lemon. There's Dime Lemon, who appears on CNN after Anderson Cooper. Dime Lemon. He drops dimes. And then there's Super Lemon that has the wings. So thank you, G Call, for the lemon on lemon. Ira, what did I miss? What we're talking about tonight is, let me give you an update. We're now at the 13-minute mark. That went really fast. What we're talking about tonight is that Joe Biden I would say about in the last 2 hours after What the Chuck, but before this show, came out and said, I'm not waiting around any longer. Tough. I'm going forward. It's been too long. I'm moving forward. He's finally saying what you and I were saying earlier in the week. It went from no one moving to Nancy and Chuck moving really fast, really wonderfully fast. You pushing everyone to get people moving, getting people going, or someone in the comments yesterday said, "Get your butt moving." Someone just said, "Can you get your butt moving?" I love when people just write it very emphatically like that. To now Joe Biden say, "Hey, I think I'm going to get going. I'm going to get going. I've had enough Zoom chats. I'm zoomed out." You can zoom yourself out. Reconciliation bill, budget bill, third stimulus package bill, G-Call. He did the super lemon. It didn't stay on the screen that long because something else was coming, but it did the super lemon. And he hit it exactly. J-Co was like, the timing was perfect. As soon as Biden said, "I'm not waiting around, I'm going for it," bam, there was Super Lemon. There it was. Amen. Super Lemon is going to get that stimulus for you. Killing the Super Lemon tonight, Chico. I love it. Sandy is loving the lemons as well. So that is the first update. The other update is that Joe was betting on a couple of things, or believing a certain series of things were happening, and those things aren't going to happen. You heard them you'll hear them throughout today. You'll hear them again tomorrow because it's going to be a reoccurring theme of this channel. Joe Biden had said in announcing the stimulus package that it's based upon schools reopening and us getting our businesses back to work in 90 days. And they're going to be doing that because we're going to have 1 million vaccinations in 100 days. Well, now we know we don't have 100 million vaccinations in 100 days because we don't have enough doses of Moderna or Pfizer's vaccine. So suddenly the schools won't be reopening as quickly and the businesses won't be reopening as quickly, and you won't have your job back as quickly. You won't be making as much moolah. Tad, oh my God, Tad with what is that? And that's an enormous super chat. Tad with a what is it? It's a ta-da. There was another one. Oh my God, this is another one fly. King Reno with the dancing bear going like this, and then Tad with the ta-da. I love that. That's hysterical. Tad with the ta-da. Lemon. I just never saw that. That's a new one. I don't, there's lemons being found by Tad that we never knew existed. And Tad's always exactly at the 17-minute mark. I think it's exactly at the 17-minute mark that Tad kills it with the lemons. Now Sandy's gonna come in and tell you, gotta start liking. She's the like queen. So the like queen's in the house, and she's gonna say, hey, there's 900 of you in the room, and there's only 365 likes. That's only 30% of the viewers have hit the like button. It's free to like. So Sandy's going to get on you right now. She's going to start saying, hey, start liking this video. 369 and 900 people in the room. What's going on here? So there you go. And so the fact that we don't have that, hey, April, welcome to the room. What a big day. So that is your big update of the 16-minute mark, is that Joe Biden says he's not going to wait any longer. He is not, and there's G. Cole. What did G. Cole say? I couldn't read it. It's the least I can do for everything LA has done for this. I really appreciate that, G. Cole. I really appreciate it. Thank you for staying along with the run. There was a lot of original viewers of this channel that I wonder what happened to some of them, because they were personal parts of the family. I knew everything that was happening with them. I knew what businesses I was helping. I knew their situation, and I hope they've gone on to greener pastures. And some do come back now and then. I saw Kevin Lee come back into the chat yesterday as one of the original viewers. Kevin Lee was one of the examples I always used on this chat where it was way before we had a community page. He learned the importance of getting a rent aid. And his family was facing eviction. He got a rent aid, and he was in Houston, Texas, and he got that rent aid at the 11th hour, and it really turned things around. He also had two great achievements because of this channel, but it was also his pushing with my encouragement. He was not being paid unemployment, and he pushed, and he pushed, and he pushed, and finally got paid after almost a 2-month, 3-month wait, and he got $16,000. And then finally, he got his EIDL approved, and I think that was $20,000. So perseverance, dedication, and thinking and remembering that things do eventually come to you is very important. I always have viewers that just sort of appear and then say, am I getting it tomorrow? Am I getting it in 10 seconds? And you got to understand that some viewers have been fighting for a while. Colleen, I've been watching you since April. I appreciate that, Colleen. Thank you so much. So Sandy's telling you, hey, there's 482 there's 1,000 in the room, but 484 liking. Get those likes up. Hit that like button. I've been watching too since April, says Crystal. I appreciate that. We lost a child to COVID in South Carolina. Oh no. I've been watching you since May, says Ira. Wow, thank you. Good evening. I've been watching you since April, says Margaret. I appreciate it as well. When I read on air people's comments, me too since April. Wow, what a wonderful group it is tonight. Anne Marie. March, says someone else. Since April, says Sharon. I really appreciate it. I know a lot of people were attached since April. Wow. So a lot of you, I don't I don't know you from name because I know a lot of you were shy back in the day and didn't write comments. And people would say, I never wrote a comment then, even though they were watching, and I would read comments on air. No one read comments on air. Wow, there's a lot of people in April and May in here. So that's really quite wonderful. And I know a lot of people said I don't comment, but I watch, and so I would not know they're a viewer because I wouldn't see their comment. So this is quite a wonderful love fest tonight. I'm totally confused about FPUC. So you know what we'll do? Let's do this. Let me go over some of yesterday's comments, and then I'll answer your questions. Um, let's do it. Let's do it that way. Sarip Lazuli, we deserve better than this. Charles Finch, I think the government and the president should take an example from the man on Facebook. He gave a homeless man $200, and after that, he decided to follow him and see what he did with it. Ellen Sage, maybe somebody should read to Biden what he said to get voted. He would understand it then. Wow, I like that. Deborah Campbell, everyone's asking the third one coming out or not being smart. Sherry Sinard, LA for president, you're doing what LA for president. We are done crying. Us Americans need laughter and positivity. Amen. Linda Bartlett, they need to quit holding the stimulus checks and get them out quickly by the 4th of February and get it done now, not later. Stephen Duran, why isn't Kamala Harris speaking up now? That's a big one. That's a big one. Hey, Elizabeth, welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. I would ask you that. Can you tell me what you think VP Harris is doing? I've never understood this. It's what is VP Harris doing through this entire thing? Drop your comments because I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. I mean, she said all this, she wrote all this stuff in 2020, and now Harris is saying nothing. It's she stopped. She first. It was actually very well reported in a few places. Harris stopped talking about what she talked about before as soon as she was as the VP nominee. As soon as she got the VP nominee, she zipped it and never talked about anything before. And I like her a lot. I really adore her. But I don't like that she's suddenly gone completely zipped the mouth close on this since it hit. Now, I have a lot of viewers in the room who watched me since April. So you certainly recall what happened when I was talking about Harris in around August. There was a point on this channel in August when we weren't getting EIDL loans approved. So what I told viewers to do was reach out to their senators to help them, because each senator's offices have offices to escalate your stimulus items. And I had viewers reach out in Texas and Florida. We had Marco Rubio, and believe it or not, Ted Cruz were very helpful at one point. And viewers would tell me which state senators were helpful. No one ever got help from Harris. They never got help from her, ever. So we remember that, says Anne Marie. Yeah, Harris never helped viewers of this channel ever for anything. And some of the senators that people just really don't like, Cruz and Rubio, actually did help people at that time, or at least their staff helped them. So Harris has never done anything and probably won't, says Margaret. Wow. But Harris did not help people. I also reached out to Harris a few times. She never even responded to me. Lynn, thank you for becoming a Purple Hawk. Thank you. Everyone welcome Lynn to the family. How are you? Marlon Brady, you're doing a great job. Too bad our government doesn't have people like you working for them. Thank you. Brian Begley, I did better than that. I talked to Representative John Varmuth. Oh, so he actually talked to the representative. I don't know how he talked to him. Roxanne Heffron, we need help with SSI and STI. That $200 a month was promised. It was promised. You saw the title of this video, which was about promises. And certainly there have been a lot of promises, and they haven't kept promises, these elected leaders. But certain things really sort of need to be kept, as you need to keep your promises. And with that, I promise to answer some of your questions right now. So if you have questions in today's video, I saw some questions before. If you have any questions about anything covered in today's recording, drop them on the screen before. They really need to keep their promises because hit that like button now. Absolutely. 600 likes and 1,000 people in the room. Harris wanted to give us $200 a month. Harris wanted to give you a lot of things. She wanted to give you $200 a month. She wanted to give you a special rent bill that ensure that the landlord gets prosecuted if you don't get the rent, if they don't acknowledge the rent. Um, Harris said a lot. She said $1,200 doesn't cut it, $1,400 doesn't cut it, a single month of stimulus check doesn't cut it. She said $600 for FPUC needs to get extended. She said a lot of stuff. I don't know how you sort of stay away from all those comments and act like you never said those things. But now all we hear is crickets, says Alma. She did say $200 a month. She didn't just say $2,000 she wrote the bill. She wrote the bill with Bernie Sanders. I wonder what Bernie Sanders thinks about all this. I'm sure Bernie Sanders is wondering, wait a second, she wrote the bill with me about this, and she simply stayed silent. Now understand, hey Loretta, thank you for becoming a Purple Hawk. Everyone welcome Loretta to the room. The Yesterday, the U.S. progressives, of which Harris is one of them, wrote Harris and Joe a letter asking for stimulus checks every month. Now, I wonder if Harris responded to that, or she blew it off like how she blew me off. She was unresponsive to me when I reached out to her office a few times. She was unresponsive to viewers this channel. The question is whether she'll be responsive uh, to progressives of her own party. Um, Earlier today, I addressed the issue of being advocates and pushing versus being negative. Advocacy means you advocate for a position. Hey, Kathy, how are you? Everyone, welcome Kathy to the room. Advocating a position is there's nothing wrong with advocating for a position. So if you believe you're entitled to multiple stimulus checks, you contact someone and say, hey, I think I'm owed multiple stimulus checks. I don't agree with your position. And if someone doesn't respond to you, then you say, why is that person not responding to me? Um, Bernie. Bernie Sanders has not been silent, says Rebecca in the Instagram room. Yes, 1,000 people in the room, but only 600 likes. Come on, Kathy. Uh, where's that? There's Timothy and there's Lynn. Wow. Wait, it's flying. I couldn't even read it. Oh my goodness. Wow, Lynn is a purple power. And Timothy, welcome Timothy Foreman and Lynn Harvey. Welcome Tim wait, Timothy and Lynn to the family. Welcome Timothy and Lynn to the family. What a big night this is. Um, so this is where you sit here tonight is there really is a need to push, and you want to move very quickly, but you also want to move very boldly. What you and I and no one else understands is, why is Joe Biden's bill so narrow? Yeah, I know Bernie Sanders was on Anderson Cooper, and it can't keep on being a one-man show here. It starts to feel like it's Bernie, the purple power, and no one else. Does it feel like that to you? It feels like it's starting to turn into Bernie Sanders, the purple power, and no one else. Because it doesn't look like anyone pushes for anything in this country. There's no advocacy. I started watching in May by recommendation from my mom. She lives in Mexico. Wow, Lupe. So your mom in Mexico recommended me. That's an incredible story. I love it being a character, says Chris. Yes, says Gary. Yes, 100% agree, April. Why is it going to take till March to get the money? It shouldn't take till March to get the money. It isn't thinning. It's almost transparent, as someone just said. They don't get us. They only play our heartstrings for votes. That's well said. Love in life. We're pushing LA Purple Hawks push, says Barney. It's just what I did. I miss. We're pushing LA Purple Hawks, says Barney. Bernie Sanders, Purple Power, and Jesus, says Rebecca in the Instagram room. Wow, Lupe, she knows what's going on, says Mary. SSI, SSDI, please tell me the programs I'm eligible for being on SSI. Wayne Milliken. Yes, absolutely. I'll answer it right now, Wayne. So if you're on SSI and SSDI, you qualify for rent, you qualify for utilities. And when I say by rent, I mean help paying the rent. They'll pay your rent, they'll help pay your utilities, help with, you can get on SNAP. SNAP is money for food. It is paid, you get it from Reach Out to Department of Agriculture, and it currently has a 15% increase from now to the end of December because of the two stimulus packages, the second and the third. And also free internet when that goes live, because it hasn't gone live yet. And also free childcare. Also, if you need help with rent utilities, always watch into the volunteers in the pinned comment to this video. They're at news.la.com/community. Rent assistance starts February 1st in California. The portal opens on the 1st. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Oregon still says no to PBT. Really? Because Biden said he had made it national. Is it just not this week or ever? Oh, I appreciate that, Wayne. If you need help with the volunteers, reach out to the volunteers in the pinned comment. Screen, I didn't see that. Um, I love your show. Keep it up. But if I didn't work all last year and only started getting unemployment in December, am I supposed to file taxes? Rody, Road or Roddy? Road, I couldn't see if there was an I after the D. Maybe it's Rod. So that's a great question. Remember, your unemployment is taxable. Unemployment is taxable unless you had taxes taken out for it each week. When you certify for your benefits each week, it says, do you want to take out for taxes? Do you not want to? If you said take out for taxes, then you don't have to file a tax return for it. I don't know what else is going on in your life, so I can't advise you about your tax situation because I'm not a tax preparer. That's my disclaimer. But the rule is that the tax, when you go to certify for your benefits for unemployment, it's taxable. You either tell the website take out for taxes that week or don't take out for taxes. Any utilities in New York? Yes, there's utility assistance across the state of New York. If you need help with that, reach out to the volunteers in the pinned comment. Great question. Hello, everyone, says Black Chili. How are you? Unemployment will send a 1099-G if you receive over $600 plus. Yeah, but if you already took out for taxes, you don't pay the taxes again. That's an important thing to remember. And I early on, one of the advice I gave to viewers is when you do it, just do it the same way all the time. Don't switch it back and forth. I'm staying safe because of you and your show and all your great purple power. I appreciate that, Kathleen. Thank you so much. 790 in the 1,200 people in the room and 792 likes. Get those likes going. Let's see if we get those likes over 800. 792 and 792 likes, but 1,100 watching, 1,200 watching. When is the next purple power? Right after this, in about 2 minutes. William Hayes. Is the federal unemployment boost taxable too? Yes, it's taxable also. That is also taxable. That is taxable. Is it too late to push to get the stimulus higher? That's a great question, and I thought about addressing that earlier. I would not stop because these when these people promise to do something, they sometimes don't keep their promise. So they sort of said they're promising they're going to be done by today, and that next week they're voting on it. Well, that's what they promise. So keep on pushing just in case they don't promise. Is free internet only for families with children out of school? Judy, I don't know. Some people in the chat say yes. I don't know. This free internet has been the real mystery of the second stimulus, and it's in the third stimulus. Remember, it is currently law. Yeah, Gun. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, 850 likes. So, really not quite clear. SBA still says they're trying to make things fair for people that didn't get in 2020. This is the first. They're first in line supposedly. Yeah, SBA is getting to those 2020 applicants in low income. Any utilities help in Mississippi? Yes. Reach out to the volunteers. Absolutely. Absolutely. My bill went up for my internet. That's the truth. They wouldn't know honestly if it hit them in the face. I love that. And there we are at the 35-minute mark. What a night it is. Help for mortgages. Yes, the volunteers can help you with that as well. Join me next. I'm back on live 2 minutes after this recording with Purple. Purple Power comes up right after this. Another video, same channel, new feed. So watch for that feed. As soon as this video closes, another one will reopen right after this. Thank you for joining me on Evening Check. I'll be back in just about 3 minutes with a continuation on Purple Power, going over your third stimulus and the items that are in the third stimulus package. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay alive for more.